Thanks for tuning in. This is RebJ Radio. Okay. 5, 6, 7, 8. You're listening to RebJ Radio. Welcome back. I say too much.
And I just say things.
Yeah. So before we get started...
Go ahead.
Okay. Before we get started today, I gotta remind you, if you like what you're hearing, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, click on the like, and comment below about anything, show topics, jokes, all of it. If you don't like us, do all of that stuff anyway, but make fun of us if you want. Or give us pointers on how we can do it better.
You suck.
So what are we going to talk about today?
Today, we have a very special Valentine's Day edition of RebJ Radio. We're talking about, do you have someone in your life that's made you wonder, like, why are you in my life?
Yeah, I have someone like that in my life right now. Do you?
Okay, so I was thinking about this, and I really can't think about, I mean, there's minor annoyances, but not really, not at the moment, thankfully. I used to.
Okay, so this is gonna be a therapy session for the person that just says things. Just kidding. We won't turn it into that.
Let's turn it into that.
Have a seat.
Okay. So, the thing is that there is chemistry and there is chemistry. Sometimes it goes good, sometimes it goes bad, but ultimately there's some kind of magnetic energy between people. You might have a friend. When it's a family member, it's a little more challenging, right? Because sometimes you might be stuck with them, but you can still choose to just abstain. Simultaneously, when it is a friend that you have chosen or that you've chosen each other, and maybe you have fun doing one thing, but then this person just continues to bring this darkness where every time you deal with this person, there is some kind of issue that comes up, even to the point to where you're wondering, okay, why am I even in this relationship? And when I speak about relationship, I'm coming from not as if you're in a monogamous relationship, but my belief is that we are in relationship with our entire surroundings. So they're just different varying levels of. So there's friendships, that's a type of relationship. So when I'm talking about relationship, it's all of those, not just you and this other person that you're in a partnership with.
Right.
So the issue is, why does this person affect me so? And this challenge has really taught me quite a bit, actually, about myself, of how to set up these boundaries when someone continues to come into your life and you say, okay, this works for me, this doesn't work for me, but how do I let them know this doesn't work for me without completely hurting that person? Or do we even worry about that? No, and just setting up healthy boundaries for yourself, for myself.
As I hear you talking, I can recall someone. I'm recalling someone that is in my life. Yeah, that is in my life like this. It's just kind of like a bug, like a little bit of a pest. And I love this person. I care about this person, but it's just kind of infuriating sometimes. And so what I originally had thought when thinking about this topic was that I have had these people in my life in the past, but in recent times I feel really good about boundaries, as you've mentioned too, and about deciphering. So I'm really much more trusting in my intuition and my instincts on whether or not someone feels right to develop that relationship further, or to reach out and make that stronger connection. I do feel like certain people inspire that feeling in me in moments, like why? That's what I ask in my head when I'm really frustrated or mad or annoyed at someone. Like, why, dude? That's the voice in my head.
Why?
But now that you say it, yes, this person has taught me a lot about myself. And actually just this morning, so I lied. There is someone in my life. There's a few someones. Now that I think about it, really, there's a few someone's in my life.
Aha! Everybody's got them.
Everybody's got them. And I was thinking about it this morning, and when I'm frustrated or annoyed, my kind of go-to reaction or emotion is like annoyance, or it might come off as anger, but for me inside, it's actually feeling frustrated. So I also know that there's kind of a disconnect of like showing the other person that I'm actually just frustrated, not really angry, but I kind of go into gangster mode right away where I'm like, you know. So what that's really,
Yep.
what it's taught me, and I was thinking about it this morning, is I need to chill. I need to take the chill pill. I need to take two, and really just chill, because my intention isn't coming across. And then it makes me wonder deeper, like, why do I even deal with you, though? Because I feel like sometimes...
Well, yeah, that's the question. Do they fulfill a purpose? Or is this someone just taking up space? I think that that's a really important question that we have to ask ourselves.
And so...
about these
Exactly.
individuals.
And so this person, this is exactly what I was thinking about this morning. This particular person that I was having these thoughts and feelings about this morning, as frustrating and aggravating as it can be in moments, they do fulfill a purpose. And the purpose is I am a guidance to them, and to me they are a reflection of showing me how I can be softer. So in that case, yes.
Nice baby.
Now, earlier you had mentioned about relatives, for example, that are just like in your life. Maybe you don't like them. There's one relative in particular that I can think of that serves no purpose in my life. And, we see each other at family gatherings or whatever, and I'll say hello. But there's no purpose.
Bad baby.
There's no reflecting. I'm not learning anything about myself other than stick to my boundaries. And so that person, every time I have to deal with them, I'm like, why? And it's basically just a blood thing, which, is not enough.
We talked about that it teaches us something, and that's my firm belief is if this person was not to give you some type of reflection in your life, they would disappear.
Right, yeah.
Period. So how I have come to evolve in this one particular relation that is the only one that really is, I've had to assert boundaries, whereas previously I had not. So with this particular growth that has happened, it went from allowing this person to consume all of my time and zap my energy because of their placement of importance on what they are doing and saying and their purpose, and my partial belief that it is oh so important what they are doing. And so what it has taught me is that I really have to be clear about what I want, being able to identify that. And so now what has happened over this course of years, now when that person frustrates me, in fact, this just happened the other day, where there's been cutoffs, completely cut off, no talking, nothing, and then kind of slowly comes back, not me going back to that person, but that person coming back. Now what I've been able to enact is the ability to not wavering on what I need to do, and then also not feeling like I have to explain what I need to do, and recognizing that if there is any connection that needs to be exercised, that it has to feel really good to me. And if it doesn't feel good, I just abstain completely.
Good.
There is one other aspect where the individual recently tried to consume my time again after I had totally whittled it way down. This individual came to consume my time asking a favor, and I said, okay, like I can do that one favor. And then that kind of became the hook of like, oh, now I own you. And then the treatment turned bad again. I was like, okay, I'm ready to just do the whole cutoff like I had done previously, which actually worked good. It enabled me to strengthen and solidify my core and what I'm doing. This person came to me, to my door, and said, hey, will you help me, please? I need your help. And at that point, I had a choice to either say, no, I can't talk to you, and close the door. Or what I did was I said, hey, come here, invited in, and looked this person straight in the eyes and said, I have to be treated a certain way, and you cannot show low vibrational characteristics, or I am done. I will not work with somebody in this way. Do you know what? I saw this person's face change because I addressed them to their face and just honestly, person to person, said, this is what I expect and this is what I accept. And this is what will happen if those things are not met. They have treated me in a very equal way since then. I'm not saying it won't change or fall off, but I did see that change because the way that I addressed it fully, instead of, like you were saying, instead of going into that frustrated, angry, low vibrational mode, I went into my higher self and said, look, this is what it is. I care for you, you care for me, but it can only be if it's healthy.
That is amazing and inspiring. And I mean, but you said it, the relationship wouldn't have lasted as long. You wouldn't have put yourself out there or even given that option, like, I can help you, but you need to be present as well. If it was just, someone that you didn't care about.
Yeah. Are they worth keeping?
Do you care enough about them to be patient as they grow? And that's a hard one, because a lot of times if it's just like, I don't know, a friend or, a classmate or a colleague or someone like that, you kind of get along with, but then you see these signs, you're like, ew, no. That just means that maybe you don't care about them. And if they're really unhealthy, maybe you're just protecting yourself, and that's great. But if it is someone that you care about, it is important to be patient. To what extent, that's up to the individual to decide. But that's amazing that you said that and did that, and that there was a visible change in that moment of understanding and the willingness to communicate and show up. So that's very cool.
I think a big part of it is trusting yourself. I mean, that's ultimate. Trusting that, one, asking that question, are they worth keeping? Whatever your answer is, go with that. And then also knowing that when you're ready to let go, or when you need to let go, you will. Instead of asking constantly, like, why am I in this? Why are they in my life? Either let go or accept that it's not run its course yet.
That's powerful. Yeah. Yeah, I have definitely been in that situation in the past where I'm like, but why though? Why though? If only. But, not now. I wouldn't put up with any of that stuff now, because I'd be like, okay, this is going to run its course, and the course is like, in 10 minutes, it's over, because I'm out. But, in the past, I would have these kind of conversations with myself.
I knew she talked to
I don't think I
herself.
was there yet in my own development, in my own intuition, where I maybe felt like I needed this person, or maybe I felt like I was obligated to this person, which I think it was more of that. But yeah, I think it's really important, like you said, to just let it run its course.
You exactly, and you mentioned it earlier, the sharpening of discernment. Before I thought I could just be friends with anybody and everybody, which I could, just because I could get along with everybody and see the vision and make something happen. So, of course, I have grown to know that, okay, even though I might be able to be friends with everybody and make something happen, that's not all in alignment with what I want to make happen on earth, what I want to make happen here and now.
That's right.
Knowing that difference between love and compassion and forgiveness and letting go is huge. So asking, whenever we don't feel good about something, there's not, I say, if it feels weird, it's weird, right? So if it doesn't feel right, then it's not.
Oh, that's weird.
And so, like you were saying, if that feeling is not there, that is a positive vibrating feeling and you're feeling good about it, then it probably is best to just say no to it in the beginning, unless you want to go there, unless you find that worth in going there with them. But knowing that if it doesn't feel good in the beginning, it's not going to feel good later until you run this particular course.
Just say no.
Ooh, and
Of learning how to set your boundaries.
Yeah, and I mean, if it doesn't feel good in the beginning, and you keep sticking to it, I mean, I'm speaking just from personal experience. It can get pretty bad, and it can get pretty nasty. So definitely,
Just say no.
I testify to that.
and listen to your gut. That intuition is there. Those are your ancestors speaking to you. That is the evolution of man within you. That is the universe telling you, hey, wake up. So obviously if it's like a detrimental situation, get out of there. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying. And it's
And it's hard in the beginning because there very much is that either that physical and or mental attraction that's creating these chemical reactions inside of you that's like, oh, but I'm feeling so much. But what is it that you're feeling? Really? And that's the big question is, yes, you're feeling so much, but is it all good feelings? Is it confusing feelings? Neither of the, either or the other is what you need to decide. Do you want to continue to not feel good and feel confused, or do you want to just feel good and progress?
the whole thing of like when you first meet someone, let's say, in a romantic situation, or maybe even friendly, maybe you meet somewhere, I don't know, at a library or something, and you want to get to know this person better, but you're shy or they're shy. They may not completely be themselves. And you might not completely be yourself. So, at what point do you pull the plug, or at what point do you give it another chance? And I think that's really individualistic. It's, and not only that, it's situational, because you can't use the same rules for every single person in every single situation you go in. It's not going to get you very far in interpersonal relationships.
At the end of the day, that's really all that we have. I mean, everybody has their varying capacities of how many people are close to them in their lives. And then as time goes on, you have less and less people close to you in your life. So it's really all about what is it that, it all comes back to the self, as always for everything. What is it that you want to make happen, and how do you want to make that happen, and how do you want to feel going there? Is this person helping you do that? Or are they hindering you? Are they distracting you?
Yeah. Dang. You're a distraction.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that simple.
So on that note, yeah,
but
it's not that simple. It's not that simple, yeah. And it is. But yeah, we've said a lot, and so back to the theme of the show, which is
subscribe.
Yes, which is subscribe, subscribe, like, comment, share. We
need to get these messages out there. We have the capacity to be well on our own and with each other. So join us in the attempt and the success.
Thanks for listening to another edition of RebJ Radio. We hope that we've given you something to think about, and get romantic.
We'd love to hear what you think of our podcast. Please leave your RebJ comments and questions below.